guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Lou. If you're new, welcome to my channel. If you guys like what you see, which I know you will, please make sure you press the subscribe button that's down below, as well as the bell notification, so you guys are notified every single time that I post a new video. Now, as you guys can tell by this title, like, okay, first off, clickbait. Y'all know how clickbait goes, so don't take the title verbatim, okay? So if you guys are coming from my last story time, which I see that you guys really enjoyed that one, y'all love laughing at my misery in my dating life. Yes, my dating life is a joke, but just a quick disclaimer, the person that I am going to be talking about in this, you know, this dating one, now I still do talk to him on and off a little bit, and we're like, we cool or whatever. So he might watch this video, because he did tell me that he does watch my videos here and there, so I don't know if he's gonna watch this one. This is a message for you, just in case, you know, this is how I took the date. Now, it might not be exactly how it was. I'm not gonna exaggerate or anything. This is just the things that basically was going through my head and throughout that whole date. So don't kill me, okay? So the dicker was not homeless. Well, yeah, he was not homeless, okay? But in my head, that's kind of what, you know, I was thinking. This one is gonna be it's gonna be a little bit more quicker than the last one, and I'm gonna try to make it a little bit more quicker. Let's start off with the story time, because actually, no, before I start, let me drink some water. Anyways, so drink y'all water. Where should we start off? All right, so where did I meet him? So if you guys didn't know, I think about a year ago and some change, I used to work at the gas station. I'm not gonna name the names because I don't want this to be too specific, so people can pinpoint and stuff. Like, if you're in my close circle and you know, but just know I used to work at a gas station, and you know, at the gas station I actually used to be a cashier, a representative on the floor or whatever. And you all know, gas stations, a lot of people come through the gas station. So the other two stories are gonna be relating to the people that I met at the gas station. Now, like I said, when you work there, you meet a lot of different people, and you get a lot of regulars that come to, you know, do gas or get food or whatever. So they become regulars, and most people, some of the time, they come just to see you. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I used to get a lot of regulars. A lot of people used to come in there and just to see me. And even when I left, a lot of people were asking, oh, where did I leave, and blase blase, and a lot of people stopped going over there because I stopped working over there. But that's beside the point. So this particular person, let's name him, I want it to be a cute name because he was pretty handsome. What's his name? Let's name him Jason. Yeah, Jason is a sexy little name. So the first time Jason came to the gas station, I really wasn't paying him no mind. Like I said, I get a lot of regulars, and when you're working, you really don't be paying attention to stuff like that. And I didn't used to be upset when I used to work, but a lot of things used to get on my nerves. And when things get on my nerves, and when these customers, you know, when you work with, like, you know, customers and stuff, a lot of them get on your nerves. So I used to literally just have my headphones on and just do my work and not even pay attention to them, because at that point I used to just be pissed off. So, you know, the first time Jason came, you know, I just make the sandwich and just, you know, call it a day. So I really wasn't really you know, really paying attention to Jason the first time. I didn't realize Jason used to come until, like, finally, when Jason actually, I guess he got enough balls to actually talk to me and stuff. And a lot of my coworkers used to, you know, they used to, like, you know, coworkers, they be making like jokes and stuff like that, because you know how when a person, you could tell how when a person, you could tell when someone comes for that specific person. So they used to make fun of me. They're like, oh, here comes Jason again. They just used to joke around about it and stuff like that. So one day Jason finally got some balls, and he actually, I don't know, like, he said something to me. I'm not sure what he said, but he basically said something, and then a conversation started, and we talked a little bit while I made his food and stuff. And then after that, Jason kept coming, and we used to have little conversations here and there as well. And then I think within the midst of that, Jason did actually ask for my number, I think. yeah, I think he asked for my number or my Instagram, because I think I'm like, I don't give my number out to strangers. So I think I gave him my Instagram, and then I think after my Instagram turned into him getting my phone number. I think that's how it worked. But you know, everything was cool. You know, he was laid back, and I'm like, girl, after he left, I was like, girl, Jason just asked for my phone number. Jason knew he was cute, but Jason was cute, so we used to, like, you know, make fun about it and stuff like that. So, you know, and then after a while, I think we just started talking on Instagram, because like I said, I gave him my Instagram. I think that's how it worked. He might have my number, but I'm pretty sure, because most of the time I give people my Instagram, not necessarily my number, because you gotta work for my number. You can't just get my number like that. We was talking through Instagram, you know, talking blase, and then that's when Jason was like, oh, we should go out on a date. And I'm like, back then, you know, I was with it. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I was with it back then. And I'm like, you know what, why not? Let's, you know, free food. I was like, okay, bet, let's go on a date or whatever. But I think Jason was like, oh, I think he wanted to go out to dinner. Then we finally, like, you know, settled on a date. Now, the date finally came. Now I'm not sure if, I don't know what it is with people not reassuring the date. Like, I feel like that's something you need to do when you're about to go on a date with someone. If you're going on a date, I would highly suggest you at least be like, hey, can't wait to see you later today, or I don't know, say something like, oh, see you today later at 8 p.m. blase, just to confirm. But I don't think Jason did that. So I think that day I wasn't really sure that I was really gonna go, until like later on, a few hours before. Again, he messaged me. I don't know if it's the type of guys I'd be attracting. Like, God, are you trying to give me a sign? But that's when he messaged me, and then he was like, oh, meet him at his homeboy's house, I think. Yeah, I think to meet him at his best friend's or whatever it was, because that night that we picked was actually a wrestling match night. I guess I didn't even know people still did this, but I guess, like, you know, people huddled at go each other's house and watch the fight and stuff like that. Me, I'm not into like sports or any type of fighting thing, so I wasn't really interested. I actually did tell him before that, I was like, if you want to just go watch your wrestling or whatever, if you're finna be busy, just let me know, because like I'm cool with that, because I personally don't really watch the game. So if he wanted to, you know, spend his time and watch the game, you could do that, because I feel like if it's a first date, why am I gonna be there, you know, watching the game if that's not what we planned on? But, you know, Jason assured me, he was like, we're only gonna be there for like an hour, it's gonna be something quick. So I'm like, you know what, all right, bet, whatever. So Jason sent me he sent me the address, and I basically just met him there. I think I went to the wrong place at first, because yeah, I'm not good with directions, but I went to the wrong place. I was like, I was in the wrong neighborhood, and then I finally went to the right place, and it was a really beautiful house and stuff like that. And I'm guessing like, I guess I thought it was just like 1 or 2 people. There was actually a good handful amount of people. I think they were doing like, they were barbecuing and stuff like that. So it was like a little getty, I guess, among like friends. So I went to the house. Jason was there, you know, he made me park somewhere, and then we went in. He led me inside the house. You know, I was saying hi to everybody over there was really nice. The girls over there was really nice. I actually was scared, because one thing about me is I think before I do things, like for instance, one thing that was really going through my mind was that, first off, I don't really know Jason like that for me to be going to his best friend's house to watch a game. Like, a lot of crazy shit happens to me. I always think of all the negative things. I know that's not a good thing, but I always like to think of all the possibilities, or I don't want to put myself in like situations that, you know, that can be messy, which is like, bitch, I'm gonna be the only person that's there, and there's no other girls, and there's just guys there. That's kind of a little bit sketchy. Like, I don't know, things like that go through my head. It's better to be safe than, you know, sorry. So, but he did assure me that there was gonna be other girls there, which there were. So he was right about that. There was girls there. I mean, even though there was mainly guys, but there was still a couple of girls there. So everybody was nice and stuff like that, you know. Asked me if I wanted drinks or whatever it was. Then we finally sat down. We found a place, like a little cozy place. And then he sat down, and then I guess he just made someone move so I could sit next to him. So I was sitting next to him and stuff, and you know, we was just chilling. And then they was all doing their thing. Now I don't want to be specific, but they was doing Mary Jane. I don't do Mary Jane, I don't do none of that, but they was doing that. And I'm like, all right, cool. They was drinking and stuff. Me, I think all I did was I asked them for some water. Because I knew we wasn't gonna be there for too long. So, you know, I'm just like, you know, I'll just, you know, eat and stuff whenever the hell we leave, because I didn't know that we was gonna go out for a place to actually eat. So, you know, we was chilling for a while. I was on my phone. I was texting, like, girl, I'm texting my friend. I'm like, girl, there's a lot of people there. Like, oh girl, this is the Getty. And knowing me, I already sent my location to them, because I'm like, girl, if anything happens to me, this is where I'm at, okay? So the whole time I kind of was texting my friend, just narrating exactly like what was going on and stuff. So wrestling match started, and then it kind of started getting interesting, because I started asking questions. I was like, oh, what is happening now, blase, because it actually was pretty entertaining. Like, I'm not even.
Also, I'd like to mention, the whole time he was barely paying me attention. His friends was actually paying me more attention than he was.
I'm not lie. But then, you know, I kept looking at the time, because I'm like, I think it was already like 9 or whatever. So, you know, I already knew that some of the places were already gonna close. So I know when we left, there was only gonna be a little bit, I don't know, like not that much options for us to go to eat. So I was still looking at the time. I'm like, oh, were we not supposed to go an hour ago? So 45 minutes passed, an hour passed, girl, we still watching the game. And like I said, I was still chilling, but I was still looking at the clock. And then I think he peeped that I was, you know, I was looking. I'm like, are we still gonna, you know, like, you know, go? And then I think within that time I did tell him, I think I told him, I was like, hey, you know, I can leave, and you know, we can reschedule. And we was still chilling, and it seemed like, you know, he was getting more relaxed. So I'm like, okay, you getting more relaxed. I thought we was gonna leave. I thought this was an hour thing. So, you know, and then I think he seen me checking my time, and then I think he started looking at places that would be open after we leave within like a 30 minutes or like 20 minutes, because he's like, we're about to go and stuff like that. So, you know, we started looking at other places or restaurants that would be open by the time we leave, to still catch the restaurant and chill and stuff. So, you know, he was looking here and there, but then he was still kind of like lost watching the fight and stuff. And honestly, the whole time I was just texting my friend. I'm like, girl, we is still here. They're like, girl, what, you still there? Like, I'm confused. They're like, how this the first day and you already meeting all the homies, you meeting all the friends? Like, don't get me wrong, like, okay, it's cool that, you know, you're comfortable with me enough to bring me around your friends, but you don't really know me like that. Like, why you, I don't know, I feel like on a first date, it should not be a thing where, you know, you should be bringing around your friends, unless it was like a group day or something. But I was like, yeah, girl, I'm still here. They asked me if I want to do Mary Jane, girl. They here asking me if I want food, but I'm like, girl, I said no, because I'm like, I thought we was about to go out to dinner and stuff like that. I think it was around 11. I'm not sure what time it was, but I know it was late, because I know it was late because I don't even think the fight even finished, but I told him, I was like, okay, I think I'm about to, you know, head out, because it was already getting late and it looked like we wasn't gonna go out to eat, and the most of the places were already gonna be closed anyway. So I'm just like, okay, what's the point on me even staying until the fight ends? So at this point, I was just like, I was just like, you know what, whatever, let me just, you know, I'ma just head out now. And then so that's when I told him I'm about to leave, and then I think he did get up for us to leave. Now, like I said, I was already over it. I was gonna head straight home. I was not gonna go anywhere with him. I just told him that, you know, I'm about to head out. So he just got up. Now in my head, this is the funny thing, in my head I'm thinking, all right, bet, you know, he's about to hug me goodbye so he can, you know, go back and finish his, you know, game or whatever, finish the fight. I'm about to head to the car, and then I seen him getting something. So I'm like, okay, I guess he's not gonna say goodbye. Like, I'm confused. So, you know, I'm getting myself ready. Like, I'm putting my seatbelt on, I'm fixing my purse, so, you know, I can get comfortable getting ready to, you know, drive off. Because I'm like, okay, I'm guessing this nigga's not gonna say bye, because he just went somewhere else and I seen him talking to his friend or whatever. So I'm like, okay, like, but then honestly, like, I was over it. So that's when I'm like, all right, bet, I'm about to head out. Then I see him, like, you know, knocked on my window, and then I put the window down, and then he's like, open the door. So, you know, I opened my door. I'm like, okay, like, why am I opening the door? You know, you could come to my side. You know, you could have just said, you know, bye on my side. And then next thing you know, homie just slid in. He was like, okay, I'm gonna look for a place for us to eat. I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm confused. What do you mean you're gonna look for a place for us to eat? And then, like, I see him, he had like a bag and stuff, so I'm guessing he had all like his work stuff, because mind you, before the date, he actually came straight from work. So that was also another reason why I told him, I'm like, you sure you don't want to reschedule, because you would probably be tired after from work and stuff like that. So mind you, he had all his work stuff in there. So I'm just like, okay, so this dude wants, am I gonna have to drive this dude home? I don't know why I be picking these guys, but I don't know, it's something about me having to drive a guy on a date, or I don't know, just home. It's just, I don't know, it's just a turn off to me. So, you know, especially if it's a first date, like, there's really nothing wrong if we're already in a relationship and, you know, I'm driving here and there. But if it's a first date, like, nigga, at this point, you're not even my date, you my son. But anyways, so that's when he's like, okay, I can still look up a place for us to eat. And then I'm like, no, I'm good, like, I just want to go home. Then he's like, all right, bet, I'm still kind of hungry. He was like, I'm still kind of hungry, can you just take me to a place so I can pick up some food? I'm like, so I'm confused. So you couldn't just go get your own food and, you know, go to your own house? I have to take you? Like, I'm confused. But I'm guessing now, this was the thing that was going through my head. So I'm like, okay, so I'm guessing he doesn't have a car and he needs me to go help him get the food and then drop him home. That's what I thought. Now, most of these things that I'm about to say are like speculations that was going through my head, because I'm like, okay, you could have easily went in your car and just picked up your food and just went home, but whatever. So in my head, I'm like, all right, bet, this dude don't have a car. So I'm like, all right, now that's even checked off the list. He was just like, okay, can you just take me there so I can pick up some food or whatever? Because mind y'all, like I said, I was a little bit already over it. Then, you know, we went to the place, we were just driving there. I mean, the mood in the car wasn't too bad. I wouldn't say it wasn't too bad, but honestly, I was just listening to my music, and, you know, we would say something here and there with like directions and stuff, but that's kind of about it. We didn't really talk about anything else. And then we got to the restaurant, we both went to go pee. Well, actually, I went to go pee, he went to the bar. Excuse me, he went to the bar, I guess, to order his food and like a drink, I think. And then that's when I got to the bar, and then he was like, oh, did you want a drink? And I'm like, I'm not here drinking at this time of night, and also I'm driving, why the hell would I drink? So I was like, no, I don't want no drink. But I think I did get water, I'm not sure. So, you know, he ordered food, but then I'm like in my head, so I'm like, okay, you asked me, do I want anything to drink? But you didn't ask me if I wanted food. Why didn't you ask me if I wanted food? Because clearly you seen I didn't eat at the, you know, cookout. Why didn't you ask me if I wanted food? Because maybe I would have said yes, even though I said no when you got in the car. Now that we're actually here, you could have asked me again. Girls are so confusing. But in my head, I'm like, you should have asked me again if I wanted food. So your ass here, I'm gonna drive you here to get food, but you not gonna ask me if I wanted food again? Like, I'm confused. At least be like, you sure you don't want no food? So I could be like, nah, or I could be like, yeah, I am kind of hungry, and, you know, get something to eat. But that didn't happen. All he asked me was, did I want a drink? I'm like, okay, whatever. So that's when, you know, I think we sat down for a little bit. I think he tried to have like conversation with me, you know, talk a little bit. I was pretty chill within that time. Like, I wasn't really upset. I was just like over it, honestly. I just wanted to go home, eat, and go to sleep. So, you know, we was talking a little bit, then he finally got his food, and then we got in the car, and then he was telling me where to drop him home. But yeah, he basically told me where to he was giving me directions to where to drop him off. Now I don't know what it is with guys with trying to give me their fries or their leftovers, but he was eating and then he's like, oh, did you want a fry? Like, I'm like, no, I don't want a fry, but I wanted a whole plate to myself, but you ain't asked me again if I was hungry. But now you're trying to ask me if I want a piece of fry. Anyways, I'm like, nah, I'm good or whatever. So I continued driving. I think the whole drive was pretty silent. Like I said, we were just playing music, and I think he was just telling me the directions to go to his like crib or whatever. Like throughout this whole time, like I told you guys, like little, like, let me push back a little bit before I finish this whole story off. But before I even went on a date with him, like I said, I already been having bad dates. So in my head, I already had checklists. I'm like, okay, I need a dude that has a job, at least have a like car, at least have a, I mean, I guess you can say a place in a sense, but not really, but just have they shit together in total. So he already gave me that. So he gave me that, okay, he's actual man, he's not a boy, like he got his shit together, he got things going on for himself. So, you know, he seems like a good candidate. So honestly, in my head, that's why I even, like, you know, gave him a shot in a sense to be like, okay, let's go out to, you know, dinner and stuff like that. So that's what was going through my head. So the fact that like I was driving him around like blew me. I was like, what the fuck? I thought you had your shit together. Like, why the hell am I driving you home right now? And then that's when, you know, we was driving and we was getting close to where I'm supposed to drop him off. But then I wasn't seeing like any places. I wasn't seeing apartments, I wasn't seeing houses or anything. And then next thing you know, I pull up to a hotel. So in my head, I'm like, this is, I think I told him, I was like, this is where we are, and he's like, yeah. So I'm like, okay. Now this is what was going through my head. So I'm like, okay, like I'm confused. It's either A, he's trying to hook up with someone in this room, like he's, you know, he's there to hook up with someone in the room, or this is, or number two, this is where he lives, like he lives in a hotel. So in my head, this is why I'm like, okay, is this nigga not homeless? That's why I'm like, my brain be thinking crazy shit, but like in my head I'm like, is this dude like fucking home, like does he live in a fucking hotel? Like I'm confused. Like to this day I never really asked him, but after watching this video he's probably gonna message me and be like, girl, I was not homeless, like this blah blah blah. But in my head I thought like, this nigga, like you live in a hotel, like I'm confused. Like I don't know, that just blew me too, because I'm like, what the fuck? I thought this nigga got his shit together. Like what the hell is going on? And again, like I'm not, okay, I was judging, but then again, like I don't judge people, but it's like when you talk to someone and they give you like, they give you a certain demeanor or like things to expect, and those things aren't what you expect, so it like, it kind of throws you off. But again, like I said, I wasn't judging. I know people be going through things and whatever, it may not be like, I know that happens, but that's what was going through my head the whole time. So, you know, I just dropped him off, and I think he just said bye. Yeah, I think he just said bye. Did we even hug? I don't even think we hugged. Yeah, I think he just said bye, and I think that was it. I just drove home the whole time. I'm just like, what the fuck? I think before I even like drove off the, you know, hotel thing, I was texting my friend. I was like, girl, I just dropped him off at a fucking hotel. I was like, what the hell? So, and then I finally got home. Now I'm not even sure if he texted me like, are you home and stuff. Like, you know how guys be like, after like a date, they'll be like, oh, are you home safe and stuff like that. I don't even think he texted me that, but I think the next day we did talk. I think I did, I'm not sure. It's either that one day we talked or we did not talk after the day at all, because after that second day, I honestly did not message him. I think he texted me after the next day and I didn't respond. Like I did not respond whatsoever, because I'm like, I don't got time for this. Like no, like after all these things that just went on, like I'm like and then let me just do a whole like summary of why this date was shitty to me, because I'm like, okay, in my head I think I already explained this to him, but I was telling him why this was one of like the shittiest dates because I've been on. Because I'm like, first off, this is your first time meeting me. Again, like why am I around your friends? first date is supposed to be like, you know, just us. So we're trying to get to know each other. Why is there all these other people around? Like with me, I like that one-on-one thing. Like I said, even though if it's just the movies or not, it's still us, and I'm still able to, you know, ask questions, get to know the person and stuff like that. Not have hella people just cheering and yelling and, like, you know, watching the game and you're distracted. Like, what's the whole purpose of that? That's not a date. We're chilling, we're hanging out. Like, I thought this was supposed to be a date. Good thing I didn't wear my good outfit, because I would have been upset. But yeah, like that's what really threw me off, because I'm like, okay, if you wanted to hang out with your friends, you could have just said that. Because now I felt like you just dragged me along because you forgot that you probably had, like, you know, a date with me. You forgot, and then you forgot that you had your, you know, your fight thing that night, and then you just told me to, like, come along. Like, oh yeah, I forgot about you, but you can still come. Like, that's disrespectful as hell. I honestly didn't talk to him like for 2 years. I didn't talk to him for 2 years, because after that it just blew me. Like there was no reason for me to message him, because I'm like, clearly you wasn't interested enough to even, you know, take me on a proper date. What's the point on even continuing conversation? So, and then after 2 years, that's when, but we were still following each other on Instagram. And then I think we just recently, about like a month or two ago, is when I actually started talking to him again. He just messaged me out of nowhere, and then we just started talking and stuff like that. But yeah, so that was actually one of my worst dates. Well, that's my second, because I think in total I had like about 4. Like, I honestly don't know what was going on in that time period, but it just seemed like I couldn't get anything right. Like, none of the people that I went on a date with, they all went shitty. Like, I don't know what God was trying to tell me, but now clearly I'm very selective on who I even go out on a date with. Honestly, I don't even go out in general anymore. They be thinking I'm like being a snob. You know how when guys we be telling you, like, you know, you're like, oh, too bougie to go out on a date. No, that's not the reason, honey. It's because a lot of y'all are shitty as hell, and I don't got time to have my time wasted, okay? That's why now I have a checklist, like, before I actually, you know, would spend my time and go on a date with someone, because I don't got time for my time to be wasted, okay? But yeah, that was one of my worst dates. But let me know in the comments down below if I was wrong for not messaging him after that. Honestly, don't think it was, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let's chat it up. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Make sure you guys like this video if you like this video, and also like this video so I can know you guys like more of these, because like I said, I think I have about 1 or 2 more left to complete this worst day ever series that I guess I'm gonna have, because you guys seem to like it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.